Cyclones put their 11-game home win streak against conference opponents on the line as they welcome in the 17th ranked Baylor Bears into Jack Trice Stadium. So glad that you could join us alongside the former Notre Dame linebacker and Super Bowl champion Rocky Boyman. I'm Tiffany Green. Iowa State's Xavier Hutchinson is one to keep your eye on. Led the Big 12 in receptions. Last year, he is the X Factor.
He absolutely is the X Factor, Tiff, and he's a guy that Iowa State is so happy came back this year because I believe he could be playing in the NFL right now. I think he's that polished of a wide receiver, but he's a guy they're going to move all over the place. He can make all the catches. I think he's especially good at that, right? The contested catch with tough man coverage. Now, of course, Baylor knows all this, right? So they're going to do everything they can to take number 8 out of the game. I think it's going to have to be someone else from that Iowa State wide receiver corps step up and make some plays as well.
Hunter Decker's the one delivering him the ball. He has been accurate so far this season.
Yes, 74% completion percentage, 8 touchdowns. He's had a little bit of an interception problem, put a ball on the ground last week, but he's been phenomenal in his second year. He's really leading this offense well.
Now, Baylor's Blake Shapen settling into his starting role after being an outstanding player in last year's Big 12 championship.
Absolutely, he's picking right up where he left off last year. He's really leading this offense. A great system based on this outside zone run game in here. He's going to get it hard, run, and then the play action off of it.
Wonderful conditions here from Ames. 68 degrees, ladies and gentlemen. Clear skies, sun's out, and the Cyclones fans ready to go. Their undefeated team on the field. They won the toss to Furs, and so Baylor set to receive it. Coming out of the end zone, so far good return, crossed the 20-yard line and then quickly wrapped up as we welcome in the third member of our team, Don Davenport, down on the field.
Yeah, Tiffany and Rocky. Matt Campbell talked all week about his concern with Baylor's speed on both sides of the ball. So I asked, how do you combat that? He said 1, precision, 2, physicality. And that is exactly what this Iowa State team prides themselves on. It's the equalizer to handling an athletic Baylor team today. Running back Jack Trice said they're used to having to earn everything here. They wear that chip on their shoulder proudly, and guys, they feel like they come in the more physically punishing team today. The rest will take care of itself.
Well, you're right, Don. Matt Campbell told us yesterday he definitely thought Baylor was the more physical team in this contest last year.
First play from scrimmage from the Bears, and Blake Shapen is wrapped up. Felt some pressure from Isaiah Lee, gain of 2.
Tiffany, one thing that's unique about this Baylor offense, you're not using some of those stars of the past, you know, Tristan Ebner and Abram Smith, not really on this team this year. We've got a 5-deep running back core, 9 wide receivers. I think they're kind of waiting someone on this offense to step up and be the guy.
In the backfield, you see number 29 to the right of Blake Shapen. He had a breakout performance, but keeping it in the air, and the pass is complete to Hal Presley. Presley picks up the first down, but you talk about that revolving door at running back, just trying to settle on right now. Offensive coordinator Jeff Grimes says it's going to be by committee. By
committee, but I'll tell you a guy who had a really good game last week, Richard Reese, the freshman. I think he has a real knack for this outside zone run game that they like to deliver.
Well, they bring in the ground and pound of that committee in Quaylen Jones.
Good boy.
Yeah. 5'10", 242 pounds, but again, keeping it in the air, and the pass is incomplete. Ben Sims, the intended target. Dave Aranda coming off that historic season, first 12-win season in school history. Big 12 champions, and in his 3rd year with this program, coming in as the preseason favorites for the first time to win the Big 12.
He's been phenomenal. Go back to 2020. This team was 2-7 in his first year. They flipped to 12-2. He's done a fantastic job.
On 2nd and 2 from the 35-yard line, Baylor puts it on the ground, and it's Richard Reese, that true freshman that you talked about out of Bellevue, Texas, who had a great performance against Texas State.
We got our first look at that zone run game there. Richard Reese doing a good job, but this is one of the situations, 3rd down. Blake Shapen would like to have a go-to guy. Again, someone needs to step up and be that person. Ben Sims, the tight end, he's back in this week. He's number 3 from the top of the screen there.
Whistle's blown. And we will await the call. Our referee, Michael Vandervelde.
There's for potential targeting.
They're saying the last play is under review.
They may be looking at a potential targeting.
Let's take another look at it here. You see Reese, the ball carrier, being met there, and it looked like maybe Colby Reeder or Freeler. I think that's Bo Freeler.
Yeah, I think it was Freeler come in. It was not. Contact. Yeah, the crown of Freeler's helmet was the first to make contact with a running back, and that's one of the two options in enforceable contact to the head or neck area. You know, now of course, you know, Reese is not a defenseless player, so it doesn't matter if he gets hit in the head. But if they determine he used the crown of his helmet, then that'll be the call.
We'll take one more look at it here. So that forcible contact going with the crown of the helmet, as you just mentioned, and Bo Freeler in that secondary, that would be a big change for them. This defense, who has come in ranked tops in the Big 12, and we will await the call to see if he will stay in the game or be ousted. When you look at it, though, Rocky, you say what?
I can see he's using the crown of his helmet. We'll get the call right here.
After reviewing the play, replay has determined that there is a foul for targeting by number 17 of the defense. With the crown of the helmet, 15-yard penalty will be added to the end of the run. It'll be a first down for Baylor, and number 17 has been disqualified.
And you can see Matt Campbell is absolutely livid on the sideline after that call.
I don't love the call, but you know, by the letter of the law, that is what officials in today's football is going to call. You know, that's a bang bang play. You're talking about a run in the pit there. I don't like it. I don't think you should punish a kid and throw him out of the game for something with there was no intent at all in that. But unfortunately, that's the world of college football these days, and he's going to be done.
So Bo Freeler, who came in as a game time decision, is now out. So the redshirt sophomore will be replaced there by Mason Chambers in the secondary. Feeling the pressure from the outside. Will McDonald nearly got to him, and a penalty marker comes out. There's a flag on the play. Excuse me, that was MJ Anderson who was coming with the pressure.
MJ Anderson's been stepping up the last couple weeks, providing some pass rush outside of Will McDonald.
And already hearing the boos inside Jack Trice Stadium early on as the very passionate Cyclone fans didn't like seeing Freeler get ejected. And here,
personal foul, unnecessary roughness, defense, 15-yard penalty, automatic first down.
This is two 15-yard penalties to start this game off.
That foul was on number 4.
It was on Colby Reeder here. Guess they're saying he laid that receiver out, or he didn't have to. I don't love that call either, but that's the way it goes. But right now, I mean, Baylor's been a team that's been hurt by penalties this year. So far in this game, being helped out by them.
Certainly, you know, they find themselves in great field position. And Blake Shapen, little play action. That's Ben Sims, brought down by Gary Vaughn, the weak side linebacker. When we talk about those penalties from a couple weeks ago, that double overtime loss for the Baylor Bears, that was the thing that hampered them. But here, against the top defense in the Big 12, they've been helped along by the miscues.
Yeah, those 14 penalties against BYU really hurt them, set them back here. But so far, getting some breaks. Now it's, can they take advantage here?
On 2nd and 9. Handed off to Craig Williams, and Williams is quickly wrapped up. Meeting him right there is Will McDonald, the 4th, the All-American defensive lineman.
Yeah, Will McDonald, 30 career sacks while he's been at Iowa State, only one this year. You know, I think the stats kind of lie there. I think he's been playing a lot of great football, getting a lot of double teams here. Those stats will come, big boy. Just keep playing hard like you are.
Noise level elevated. 3rd and 7.
There's Sims right there, tight end.
Instead, continues to look left, escapes the pocket, and not enough for the first down, but he scrambles out and moves the ball forward. So that brings up 4th down after that gain of 3. Again, Will McDonald in pursuit.
Good job by this defense bowing up here. And there looks to be no signs of bringing the field goal team out here. Analytics drive a lot of offense right in these days, Tiff, and seems to be a situation where Baylor wants to come into this stadium here early and set the tone.
They have yet to attempt a field goal this year as John Mayers 5 of 8 on 4th down with Josh Fleeks in the backfield to the left of Shapen. Looking, finds Fleeks. The pass complete, and they pick up the first down and convert.
So good job on that play there. Iowa State chose to just rush 3, and they dropped a lot of guys back into coverage, but no one was in the flat. Got the ball out of his hand quick. There he is. He's open. Get the ball and let him do his thing here. Josh Fleeks, you know, played a lot of wide receiver here. Now doing some damage in the running back room.
On 1st and 10 from the 20. They hand it off to Reese. Reese, patient running, finding his blocking, that inside zone run, working to perfection right there, Rocky.
Yeah, absolutely. This is what they do. It's going to be zone run off to left, and everybody's going to go this way, this way, this way. And it's up to that back to be patient and then make that cut at the right moment. On his 5th step, bang. And you really want to be decisive. And the thing about the zone run, Tiff, is one of those runs that'll go for 3 yards and 2 yards and 5 yards and 4 yards and then 25, right? You got to kind of stay with it. And that's what Jeff Grimes and this Baylor offense really, really lives on.
1 yard to gain. Got to get to the 10-yard line. Rolling to his right. Shapen finds a man and in and out of the hands of Monterey Baldwin. And right there, you think, Rocky, that could have been 6.
That's 6 points right there. And again, we talked about somebody on this wide receiving core got to step up and be the guy. They think it's going to be Monterey Baldwin. That's what all the coaches talked about, but he's had a few injuries, and right there, he dropped what should have been a touchdown.
And so on 3rd and 1, you decide to draw up what if you're Jeff Grimes?
I think if you're Jeff Grimes here, I think you get the ball, try to find your tight end. Very good down this area of the field. Also give the option for Blake Shapen to run the ball. He was good at that last week.
Instead, they hand it off, running towards that left side and quickly wrapped up. Reese doesn't get it. Right there is Malik Verdon. Loss of 1.
Good job up by this Iowa State defense. I just don't love running that play into the short side of the field when Iowa State clearly had enough bodies. They did not have numbers on that side, and they're going to go for it again here. I like this call. You know, you're coming in. I think, you know, David Aranda talked this week about how we haven't shown enough edge, right? Well, you want to establish some edge, come out here and go for your 4th down early in this game, your 2nd try.
Little play action, they got him, and it's Ben Sims right there, and he's into the end zone. Touchdown, Baylor. When you said the tight end, you had to keep an eye on number 8, and the Iowa State defense lost him.
It's the quarterback security blanket, but it's all set up by that run, Tiff. That's what makes this whole thing go, because all the action, Iowa State is going to start flowing hard this way. We got to stop the run. And then, boom, whip that thing out, bootleg, and there is no one in sight. That is all set up by that wide zone run game. It's an excellent job of execution.
So way to quiet the crowd here on the opening drive for Baylor. The extra point is good from John Mayers, and a 7-0 advantage for the 17th ranked team in the country.
Baylor comes out, get the help of a couple penalties that go their way, 2 4th down calls. They come into Jack Trice Stadium, want to make a statement they have here early at Iowa State.
The ESPN 7-0 advantage for the Baylor Bears. They marched down the field in that opening drive, took more than 6 minutes off the clock, but they were also aided by some penalties and some conversions on fourth down.
Yeah, 2 penalties, 2 15-yarders, right? One converted a third down. And then, yeah, going for it twice on fourth down. I think they're doing a good job setting the tone here early.
Iowa State will get the opportunity after this touchback, coming off a 7-6 season last year. And I'll tell you, every time when you look at these two teams meeting recently, it seems to come down to the wire. It was one of 5 less than a touchdown wins, or losses rather, for Iowa State.
Yeah, it was a classic last year. I went back and watched that game this week, and Tiffany, so many stars on that field, right, for both teams. There was about 8 guys that are now in the NFL. You're talking about Brock Purdy and Breece Hall, of course, Chase Allen, Treston Ebner, Tyquan Thornton. I think it's up to one of these guys on these 2 squads to step up today and make a name for themselves.
And here's the new gunner, and Hunter Deckers, his first pass complete to number 13, Jalen Noel, a gain of 8, and it was Hunter Deckers who was waiting his turn behind Brock Purdy the last couple of seasons. Now he steps in out of Hayward, Iowa.
Yeah, I mean, look, he really took advantage of those 2 years he was behind Brock Purdy, and instead of hitting the transfer portal and all that, he's decided, look, I'm going to sit, I'm going to watch this guy who's been a 4-year starter, learn from him, watch tape, and now his opportunity is come.
And the pitch out to Jyrell Brock, who picks up the first down, replacing one of those key pieces from a season ago you mentioned in the All-American, Breece Hall.
Yeah, Breece Hall was just special. And right now he's making plays for the New York Jets, and now it's Jyrell Brock's team. He actually was in the same recruiting class as Breece Hall, was actually a higher recruit. But now, same thing as Hunter Deckers. He's got his opportunity now. I think he's playing well.
And when we talked with coaches, they talked about just his consistency as one of the selling points of why he's ready and sitting in the backfield. On 1st and 10, he handles the rock and he runs into a couple of white jerseys, including that nose guard, Siaki Ika. Apu is the nickname.
Yeah, I would find a way to not run right up the middle, Tiff, because Ika is one. There he is, I think, right there. He's a big boy. Don and I saw him on the field before the game, and he is a massive human being, 350 pounds, but can move. He's a special player.
That's what amazed me, Rocky, how fast he could move. I'm like,
right.
I'm 115, I can't move that fast.
I'm 235, and I can't either.
Abu is nimble and quick on 1st down, and first target to Xavier Hutchinson. Hutchinson, who we featured in the open. He has been money for them since transferring over a couple of seasons ago.
Yeah, he's the go-to guy. As I said in the open, he's polished, right? It looks like he gets it all, and it's because he's such a good practice player, and we'll get into that more as the game goes on, but he really works at his craft every day, and it's paid off for this Iowa State team.
One of those super seniors for the Cyclones, now 3rd and 1 with Brock in the backfield. Man in motion. And Brock straight ahead, and good yardage, crossed the 50-yard line and moved the chains. TJ Franklin on the stop.
And Iowa State said, look, we're going to put 2 guys on number 62, Ika, right there. There he is. Yeah, that's a good idea. Let's double team number 62. I think that's a good option for Iowa State. And then just let that thing open up. That's an inside zone. It's just kind of up to that running back to come forward, just find a little crease and hit it. Good job by Brock.
1st and 10, and so far, Hunter Deckers is helping to move this offense. The pass out to the right side, and it's complete to Noel. So far, number 13 for Iowa State has been targeted a couple of times here and made a couple catches.
I really like what Iowa State's doing here early. Running the football and some short passes, get your quarterback comfortable here. And Baylor does so many things defensively, right? So many different looks, and let's kind of take things easy, slow early here, let your quarterback get comfortable.
Cyclones continuing to march down the field with Hutchinson in motion. He's to the top of your screen. And they hand it off to Brock, and Jyrell Brock had a great gap there. Strong run, gain of 9. And an injured player down on the field, and that is Brock.
He's doing a good job coming downhill. I think he's a little shiftier than Brees Hall was and kind of wiggles his way through. And I think Iowa State's saying, look, if you called targeting on our guy, where's the targeting on that play?
And the safety, Devin Lemire, came in to make the tackle, and we will step aside with 5 minutes to go in the first quarter. 7-0 Baylor.
College football is presented by Slay, the TV you love for a price you'll love, and in part by the Lexus ES, a direct reflection of you.
Iowa State looking to answer on their opening drive, and during that timeout, we got a chance to see the replays from that last hit where we saw Jyrell Brock being shaken up a little bit, and this looks very similar to the hit that sent Bo Freeler out of the game.
Yeah, and I think that's what Iowa State fans are saying. Look, if you're going to call it on them, or call it on us, call it on them. You know, as Lemire came up on that hit there, definitely the crown of his helmet was used, but no call.
Cartavius Norman in the backfield, one-on-one there, and Xavier Hutchinson with the catch, and it's a touchdown. The answer from Iowa State.
This is all set up by the run. They've been running the ball very well, just like on that last play. So Baylor thinks they're coming back to the exact same play. Little inside zone, except good job of riding that thing down by Deckers, and then the pinpoint precision on big number 8. I think they're going to look at Tiff. Was he down before he crossed the plane of the goal line?
Mark Milton on the coverage, but Xavier Hutchinson got behind him, exactly what they were looking for. And let's see if his knee was down before he got in. I think he was, maybe at the 1.
Looked like his right hip hit the ground before he crossed the plane. Let's get one more look. Yeah, I think that's pretty definitive right there. But how about Xavier Hutchinson?
After review, the runner is down at the 1-yard line.
Yeah.
It'll be first and goal, Iowa State.
The thing, Tiff, that's so impressive about him is he just needs a little bit of room. He doesn't need to be wide open to make a catch. As you can see right there, just a little head fake to the outside. Give me a little room, and number 8's going to come up with it.
Big time reception there. A gain of 28. And now first and goal from the 1-yard line for Iowa State. Jyrell Brock trotting back onto the field.
And Xavier Hutchinson not in right now. He's normally a go-to guy in the red zone here.
They're looking to pound it in, and Brock is stopped short. Met with some resistance up front. No gain on the play.
I'm really happy to see Jyrell Brock back in here, but it's going to be tough running this football. You see Ika again just pushing that line of scrimmage back, and then a lot of white jerseys. The front 7, this D-line is what Dave Aranda is known for, going back to his days as defensive coordinator. But now I think here's a moment where Matt Campbell comes in and says, hey, we need to be the more physical team. Here's where you got to prove it.
Second and goal. Brock gets it again, and once more held up. Gabe Hall was the first to greet him. So winning the battle in the trenches so far on the first 2 downs, it's Baylor.
Yeah, 2 runs up the middle, and there wasn't nothing at all there. So there comes Hutchinson back. And right now Baylor's saying, we got to have a plan, fellas. We got to have a plan for number 8. Some sort of bracket coverage. You see him right there in that inside slot. See what Baylor's plan is.
Deckers looking at Hutchinson, decides to go underneath to Jared Russ. And the pass incomplete, brings up 4th down.
And Tiff, I think you called it. I think he waited a split second longer. He had Xavier Hutchinson in the back of the end zone right there. And it looks like Matt Campbell is going to be aggressive as well. I still think Hutchinson's got to be a part of this play. Big time moments go to your big players. He's at the top of the screen. He's got an inside alignment. He's got a lot of room out here to the outside to work with.
Looking, and touchdown into the hands of Jyrell Brock. And it was really close. Once again, the initial ruling is a touchdown.
Yeah, let's take a look at this. The initial ruling touchdown.
Does he cross the plane?
I think he crossed the plane,
yes,
but does he control it?
Yeah.
I think that's the main thing to look at. Is it's a very subjective thing. When did he have control of that football? And from that angle right there, it looks like he did. The other angle looks like that thing might have been bobbling around a little bit.
As of now, no review, so
all right,
they go with it.
I do like that play call there because Jyrell Brock is dangerous out of the backfield. A lot of room out there. That was great.
Chase Gilbert, the 2 freshmen, are to attempt the extra point, and we're knotted at 7. Well, 2 impressive drives to open this game. It's 7-all from Ames and Iowa State. Let's take a look at the Taco Bell Live Moss student section. Student sections across the country are competing to be the Live Moss student section of the year all season long. Rocky, you and I said going into the game that we felt like this was going to be a good one. Already starting off this way, and certainly interesting, being aided by some
yeah, a couple penalties, yeah, but some 4th down calls. I love that. It's been exciting so far.
And the return, that's Gavin Holmes. Holmes, who can be electric. He returned a punt last week as we sent it out to the studio with Kevin Connors.
Tiffany, AT&T 5G studio update. Rock Chalk Jayhawks. Jalen Daniels, Sam, to Trevor Cornell.
But Duke answers. Right after this play, we're going to see Jalen Coleman runs it in for a score for Duke.
We've got 3-0 teams colliding. Basketball, Blue Bloods, Tiffany, and a good one, 7-7.
Wow, what a job that Lance Leopold has done in Lawrence, Kansas. Already helped to a 3-win season and no losses so far on the year.
And they're leading us to 12 in scoring. Yeah, who saw that? I think everyone would have lost a lot of money on that before the season, but you're right, Lance Leopold doing a great job here. And we got 2 great head coaches in this one, Dave Aranda and Matt Campbell. I think 2 guys that are similar in how they go about things, right? With, you know, talk about trust and dependability and that sort of thing.
On 2nd and 7, they hand it off to Greg Squirrel Williams. And he's brought down by Anthony Johnson just past 11:37 local time here in Ames. Rocky Boyman, Don Davenport down on the field. Tiffany Green here with you. 3rd and 1 coming up for the Baylor Bears.
Last time when they needed it was the 4th down, it was the touchdown. It was that hard play action, boot out around it. We'll see if they stick with the run or they roll Shapen out again. This looks all run to me.
Yeah. They hand it off to Reese. Reese tried to get to the outside, and it's going to be close. Good stop there by Orion Vance, the super senior. They've always said when he is there, he makes the difference. They're going to say it's enough for a 1st down.
And Reese got that, but I'll tell you what, that's one where you got to plant your right foot in the ground and get north-south. You only got to get about a yard here, and that was a little bit close. Good job by that Iowa State defense, but nevertheless, the chains will move.
First and 10, Shapen, surveying, finds Reese, and boy, what a hit delivered there by Verdon.
I think they have some good safeties here on this Iowa State team. Verdon coming up. There's him right there. Just patience. It's zones. Eyes are on the quarterback and the break. That's what you got to do. As soon as that ball just releases out of the quarterback's hand, your foot's in the ground, you're coming down and knocking them back. Love the way number 7 played right there.
This defense only giving up 9 points a game through 3 games this season. 2nd and 6. Here's Williams. Williams with plenty of space along that right side. And first down for Baylor. Well, our Saturday night football game presented by Capital One is a Big Ten battle at the Shoe in Columbus. C.J. Stroud and the 3rd ranked Buckeyes host Wisconsin with both teams starting conference play. Chris Fowler and Kirk Herbstreit have the call at 7:30 Eastern on ABC and the ESPN app.
I think Wisconsin's going to try to do what Oregon did last year, go and beat them up a little bit. Like Iowa did a couple years ago. We'll see what happens in that one. Wisconsin hasn't won that matchup since 2010, though.
And that brings us to the end of the first quarter.
The end of the first quarter. Timeout on the field.
7-7 ball game between Baylor and Iowa State, and what should be an entertaining Big 12 opener for 2.
Just gotten on the board. Tanks Bigsby a touchdown run for Auburn, taking on Missouri on ESPN, and number 1 Georgia Tiffany over on the SEC Network.
Thanks so much, Kevin. Right here, great ball game, one-on-one coverage. Hal Presley going up and trying to make the grab. They say yes, he comes up with it. And so this drive continues as Blake Shapen
Ruling on the field is a completed pass. First down.
Completes it to Presley here.
And Miles Perks has got to find this ball. That thing hung in the air forever. You got to have some sense and some feel of where that ball is. And he was in good phase. Try to get your hand on the hip of that wide receiver and look up and find the ball. I mean, he just kind of tossed that thing up into the day sky here and came down with it.
40-yard reception inside the red zone. Blake Shapen has been great. 6 of 8, 71 yards. And they hand it off to Reese. Reese, who was quickly brought down by Vance. Loss of 1. 2nd and goal.
Yeah, Ryan Vance, he's one of those guys, came back here for his 5th year just because he loves Iowa State, wanted to kind of finish things off right, have a great season. Loved watching him play linebacker.
He's had to suffer through some injuries during his time here, but I'll tell you this, when he's on the field, he makes a difference. Shapen rolling to his left. Monterey Baldwin takes it in, and TJ Tampa on the stop. Gain of 3. Now 3rd down. 3rd and goal for Baylor.
Really like what Shapen's been doing today. I think they've got him comfortable with some easy throws, and he gets the long one down the sideline here. Nice quick release. But this is where you judge your quarterbacks. Can you make it happen here inside the red zone on 3rd down?
The crowd has been into this one. Sends a man in motion. Try to create a little confusion there, and nowhere to go for Craig Williams. It's 4th and goal. Stop made by Will McDonald.
And this time there's no hesitation. Dave Aranda's going to send in the kicking unit. I don't think they're totally confident, right, in their kicking unit, but certainly going to need them as this season goes on here, try to get 3.
24-yard attempt for John Mayers. First field goal attempt of the season. Hold is down, and Mayers is able to push it through. 3-point advantage for Baylor on the road in the Big 12 opener. Your screen to the left, the National Coach of the Year and Dave Aranda for the Baylor Bears. On the right, Matt Campbell, who 3-time Big 12 Coach of the Year, but also the 2nd longest tenured coach in the conference. They've done outstanding jobs building culture and recruiting to their personalities.
Interesting personalities too, right? We talked to Dave Aranda yesterday for about 30 minutes. I'm not sure even mention the word football. It's about life and all kinds of things. It was great.
He's known as a professor or philosopher here on special teams. They're trying to slow down the return for Miles Purchase. Well, this season, for every field goal and extra point made by participating universities, All-State will make a contribution to the university's General Scholarship Fund. Thank you, All-State. I'll tell you this. We talked about just the coaches and their uniqueness. You know, Matt Campbell, 7th season here. And the way that he's built this program and the success that they have seen over the years, he is a guy whose name continues to swirl for coaching vacancies.
He seems to really love it here. I don't blame him.
Cartavius Norton on the carry. Don, you've had the opportunity to cover Matt Campbell over the years. What have been your takeaways for year 7?
Yeah, but one of my takeaways is he absolutely loves it here. I kind of joked with him when we talked to him. You know, I said, Coach, I feel like every time I work an Iowa State game, I have to ask you about your name on some big job list. You know, he said in the beginning he really didn't know how to handle it, how to talk to his players about it. His players told me, though, now they just laugh at it.
Xavier Hutchinson certainly is glad that he remains here in Ames.
It's always good to keep Xavier Hutchinson involved in this game here. Give him a little cushion. He's just so good at finding ways to get open. You know, and that's one of the marks of a good wide receiver. Find ways, jukes, things like that. Give your quarterback a target.
Had to catch every game since being in an Iowa State uniform. 3rd and 2, and it's just thrown behind Jyrell Brock, incomplete. That'll bring up 4th down.
Trying to go to Brock again, which has been successful out of the backfield here, but kind of just fired that thing behind Brock as he was getting out in the route. That's a tough throw to complete with that receiver, that back coming right into the short side of the field there.
You see the numbers for Hunter Deckers on the game, but now Jace Gilbert, Tyler Perkins coming on to punt it away. Gavin Holmes awaits. And he is quickly wrapped up, nowhere to go, very dangerous there. As Ben Nickel makes the tackle. Baylor on offense when we come back. Jack Trice Stadium here on the campus of Iowa State. Jack Trice was the first African-American student athlete at Iowa State. As a member of that 1923 football team, Trice played in exactly 1 game on the road at Minnesota. The night before the game, he wrote a letter to himself while apart from the team at a racially segregated hotel, saying, "The honor of my race, family, and self is at stake, and my whole body and soul will be thrown recklessly throughout the field." Trice suffered massive injuries in that game and died as a result just days later. But Jack Trice, who never got a chance to see, you know, Ernie Davis win the Heisman Trophy, is forever immortalized here as it's named in his honor. Wide open down the middle, and Blake Shapen finds Gavin Holmes cross midfield into Cyclone territory.
Things really seem to be open up in this pass game here. A lot of time, no pressure at all from Iowa State. He just sits back there. And Gavin Holmes is a guy, I mean, he's missed most of 2 years with injuries, just going back and forth, so it's good to see him get involved.
36-yard completion for the senior out of Texas, the super senior. Richard Reese on the carry.
Richard Reese, the Baylor ball carrier, stopped by Malik for Don.
For Don on the stop. Well, Jeff Grimes, the offensive coordinator, who's schemed up this zone run has worked well thus far, and he really got a chance to perfect it when he was at BYU as the OC.
Yeah, I asked him yesterday, I said, why the zone run? There's so many things you can run, so many things that work well. He just said, look, it's the most consistent way to run the football, and I don't disagree with him. And then, of course, you got the hard play action off of it. He's an old offensive lineman back at UTEP, so you know he loves running that rock.
And thus far, I think Blake Shapen has done a really nice job of delivering the football, precision passer, showing that strong arm, and really benefiting from the play action, the bootleg, as you mentioned, Rocky.
He looks calm and comfortable, right? I think he looks real good out there. Doesn't look rushed. Looks like he knows where to go with the football. But here we go on third down. I think this is where not having that go-to guy kind of hurts you a little bit. We'll see if someone can emerge. Seth Jones there at the bottom of the screen. He's got a lot of room in front of him here. He can make some plays.
Instead, they keep it on the ground, and Craig Williams is tripped up. The defense stopping on third down, but a late flag coming out. Not sure what the call is, but Anthony Johnson with the stop and making the tackle on Craig
Personal
Williams.
foul, illegal block below the waist, number 1, defense. 15-yard penalty, automatic, first down.
Wow. Another big penalty here for Iowa State.
And this is one of those rule changes and emphasis this year of going below the waist. That looked like he hit him above the waist to me. I mean, and Matt Campbell, he has every right to be upset. I think that's I do not agree with that call whatsoever.
Well, a couple of personal foul penalties and targeting on the opening drive helped Baylor find the end zone, and now a fresh set of downs inside the red zone.
Yeah, 3 times they've gotten, in my opinion, some questionable calls that have given them 15 yards each.
Matt Campbell
Iowa State has called their first charge timeout of the game.
has been giving the officials an earful to let them know just how displeased he is with the calls, and he is not giving up or giving in.
Yeah, he's normally a quiet, soft-spoken kind of guy, but he is livid right now, and I think he has every right to be.
While we have time, let's check in with the studio and Kevin Connors. What's up?
Hey, Tiffany, Twisted Tea drop in. Take a look at Kent State. Acho, Colin Schlee to Devontae Walker, who has jets.
It doesn't matter who you are. Bad technique. You see 2 guys from Georgia inside. Devontae Walker takes it to the house.
Just the second touchdown the Dogs have given up, Tiffany. It's 12-10 right now.
Oh my, oh my. Meanwhile, Iowa State's defense trying not to give up another touchdown here, already beyond their season average. Best in defense, and Matt Campbell during that timeout.
The entire time.
Woo! He was just like, I am not giving up. But you know what that does? That ignites this crowd who's been so active since we kicked off at 11 local time.
No, you're absolutely right. This crowd is into it, and they're ready to, they're fit to be tied as well.
Hey, they were losing it in the first quarter.
That's right,
that
Don.
targeting call. Now they're really angry.
And Reese on the run on first down, stopped by Orion Vance. Gain of 6.
Just so you guys know, Matt Campbell was asking the referees, how are we supposed to play? He has a point. Rocky, you said you disagreed with that call. What are you supposed to do in that moment?
Yeah, I think, you know, you got to come up, you got to take on the block, and it just makes it tough on a player. It makes you hesitate, right? It makes you come up and kind of second guess, should I be in the right spot here? And you want to go out there and play fast.
Keep an eye on 9, Will McDonald, as Shapen is brought down, and another flag coming out late. I'll tell you, a lot of laundry being thrown out.
Personal foul, face mask, number 8, defense, half the distance to the goal, first down.
And I think he meant McDonald, who made the tackle on
Correct,
Shapen.
and that foul is by number 9.
Wow.
See if we can find him here.
There,
yeah.
it's very definitive and clear there, Rocky, while
Yes.
we may have questioned some of the other calls.
Correct, yeah. Question the other ones, that was certainly a face mask, and, you know, fans agree. They're not going to gripe about that one. But, man, 4 times here. personal foul penalties, 15 yards, setting them up.
Not looking, as the intended target was Gavin Holmes, covered by Anthony Johnson. 2nd and goal from the 3.
And this is where Iowa State's defense has got to remain composed a little bit. Can't get too upset and, oh my God, they're doing this and they're not being fair about that. You got to get that out of your heads here and play some good football in this area of the field. You let your emotions get too much of you here, you make another mistake and you give this team a score.
This defense going to be tested again here. Trying to limit Baylor to possibly just a field goal, and the surge from Richard Reese nearly got him into the end zone. Verdon, who's been active in this first half, stopped him just short of the goal line.
I don't know if anything excites me more than seeing a safety come up and fill. Looks like he's got an open, like bang! And he runs his feet, Tiffany. Sometimes when players, they hit, their legs go dead, but he keeps driving those legs, and that was enough to keep Reese out of the end zone.
Baylor 1 for 5 on 3rd downs. From 1 yard out. High power formation. And the bootleg there working to perfection, and touchdown as Dylan Doyle catches his first offensive touchdown of the season. We saw that a couple times last year.
Fantastic call right there by Jeff Grimes down this area of the field. Iowa State saying, oh, here comes the run. We got to come and get vertical and stop it. And then just everything is going that way. Come back with one player coming back the other way, and it's a touchdown. It's so hard down that area of the field. You don't have any room to work with. You got to come downhill, and they just use your aggression against you.
The 17th ranked Baylor Bears put up 17 points so far in this first half, as Shapen finds Doyle for the score.
Well, welcome back to Ames, where Baylor takes the 17-7 lead on the 3rd career offensive touchdown out of Dylan Doyle, the linebacker for Baylor. But here's the deal. He can play everywhere. And you know why? Because everybody talks about his football IQ. Dad was a coach. Both his brothers were college athletes. Parents, both collegiate athletes. He told me he has been diehard into film study for about 7 years now on his own. He'll watch 3 full games a week, cut-ups, watches both sides of the ball, situational football, and there we see that paying off. And guys, remember, he is an Iowa kid back in his home state. Told me this week in big, bold letters in his notebook, he wrote, eliminate the distractions. Didn't look distracted on that touchdown, did he?
Not at all, but Don, I played 4 years of linebacker in college, 8 years in the NFL, and I never got a touchdown pass. I never got anything thrown to me, Tiff. What's going on here?
And now he's already got a couple.
Yeah, exactly.
You were shortchanged, my man. You were
probably a better athlete than I am. I think that's the answer here. But no, he's a great player as a linebacker, and then getting in there and making it count on offense as well.
3-year starter, top returning tackler, and steps into that leadership role. Remember, that was held by Terrell Bernard last season. Now here comes Iowa State, and here comes the pressure for Baylor. Wrapping him up and bringing him down was Garmin Randolph. Randolph playing that jack position in that front 7 with the sack.
And this is where Decker's got to get rid of the ball. Nothing's open, throw it away. It was good coverage down the field by Baylor. He's got to feel that there's that internal clock going off, right? When it starts to get above 3 seconds, you got to get rid of that ball and instead of taking a sack.
Loss of 2 on 2nd and 12. Deckers finds Hutchinson, number 8, who is the playmaker for Iowa State. Sees about 6 jerseys converge on him, and the fans here were saying, "Hey, did we see a little targeting just there?"
Yeah, and just a good job to give him a little bit of space there, and then he just does the rest. A little 3-yard route, make a couple guys miss, and let's see if there's a helmet-to-helmet here at the end. This is all set up by, again, early in this game, Bo Freeler, the safety, was ejected from this game for a helmet-to-helmet hit. Fans want one on their end.
Yeah, just miscommunication there as Hutchinson was open, but just throwing to a different spot was Deckers. That now brings up 4th down.
And this is the first time Hunter Decker today has looked unsettled, right? Just looks a little bit out of sorts. A couple plays there. And it's up to him to kind of find that poise. Go back to the Iowa game. He had a couple interceptions, was out of sorts, but then settled in. They had that 99-yard drive to win the game. He's got to find a way to get his mind back to that place.
The sophomore lefty not able to keep this drive alive, so on to punt it away. There's Tyler Perkins on a return. Gavin Holmes, and Holmes had absolutely nowhere to go. Great special teams play by Iowa State. Good time to tell you that the Giants are now 2-0 for the first time since 2009. The Cowboys coming off that thrilling win against the Bengals. They meet in our Week 3 NFC East Monday Night Football matchup. Our celebration of Hispanic Heritage Month continues at 8 Eastern. You can see it on ABC, ESPN, and ESPN Deportes. And how about Micah Parsons, who has given every quarterback in the league some fits?
Yeah, my hometown Bengals had enough of Micah Parsons last week. He couldn't be blocked at many points of that game here. He's off to a fantastic start. And how about Cooper Rush from the Central Michigan University?
Doing his thing as the backup quarterback to get that win with the injured Dak Prescott. Craig Williams with a gain of 4 on first down.
And I'll tell you what, Tiffany, it's been the pass game for Baylor that's really come alive here. They hit Presley for 40 yards, home for 36. They only got 52 on the ground, but I think it's just that threat of that rush game. You got to be consistent with it. It's opening things up in that pass game for Shapen.
And I'll say this, Rocky, we were talking about who was going to kind of carry that load, who was going to be that feature back. We've seen a steady dose of Richard Reese, some Craig Williams, but Ben Sims has been important in this passing game.
Yeah, he's been the security blanket for Shapen, and that's always a good idea. But to your point, you kind of want a running back to emerge out of this, but the other side of it is, if you're on defense, you keep rotating in 5 guys that do a little, it's a little bit different things here and there that sometimes that can keep a defense off balance.
3rd and 1, as Jeff Grimes' group has been moving the ball well thus far. 176 total yards of offense. And they throw it on 3rd and 1. At least Shapen wants to, but he can't get it out in time as Gary Vaughn is there. Loss of 2, and big play on 3rd down.
Yeah, that was just well covered on the back end. There was nowhere to go. There was one throw for Shapen to make. It wasn't there, and from there he's got to find a way to tuck that thing a little bit quicker. But give a lot of credit to that defense for Iowa State. Looked like there was only 3 guys out in the route, but they had him dead to rights and going to force a punt. I think that was a huge stop right there for Iowa State, because it just kind of felt like Baylor offensively was getting some things moving. Now they'll give the ball back to their offense and see if they can do something with it.
Isaac Power punts it away. A high sky kick for Jalen Knoll, and Knoll fair catches it, and we'll see Iowa State's offense if they can move down the field and punch it in with 3:39 remaining in the first half. Normally cool breeze on the sidelines has been none of that, and here's why. We'll recap some big plays that have changed the complexion for his team.
Yeah, absolutely. That was right there early in the game. Bo Freeler, the safety, goes out with a helmet-to-helmet, and which he didn't like. And then another personal foul. Yeah, he's been, for a calm, cool guy here, he's been giving those officials an earful.
Pass complete to Hutchinson, and Hutchinson has the ability to turn nothing into something. And look, he does double time with coaching duties, as he was busy this summer coaching his daughter's 6th grade softball team. He was like, look, we have to snap this 6-game losing streak, okay? So we've got to find a way to come back. He said he gave a stirring speech, Rocky. They came back to win.
I love it. You know he just loves doing that, too. He gets to be a part of his kids' lives and coaching a little bit, not as big a stage, it's got to be a little bit comforting.
The thing I love about it, though, Rocky, was the fact that he used that experience from the summer during halftime of the Iowa game to try to bring home that Cy-Hawk trophy.
I think part of it too is a coach just realizing, look, you got to maintain composure. You got to be, got to kind of take things in stride a little bit. But right now, I like how this drive is going here for Iowa State. I think early on you get Hunter Dekkers settled back in a little bit, look a bit out of sync, and get him a nice easy completion and the run and new first down.
Open this possession with the best starting field position of the game, and Jirel Brock making a few folks miss. And Brock crosses over midfield, but nice, just patient, kind of elusive moves there from Brock.
And this is a tough reception, rolling out to the side. Look at this little juke here. I mean, he's got some hips to him, Tiffany. I'd like to see him on the dance floor. Maybe, I think, even more shifty than Breece Hall was, but that was an exceptional play of kind of taking a string and getting something.
280 yards on the ground coming into today's game. And that sidearm release, kind of awkward and orthodox, you see there from Dekkers, and the pass complete to Dimitri Stanley.
And it was a good job of him hanging in there. He had the time, so he hung in there. He kept the eyes downfield. And he mentioned that release. It's a lefty. It's a little bit sidearm, but it worked right there. Put the ball right on the money.
Also was a baseball player, great athlete, well-rounded. And making his family proud as he comes from a family of farmers. He's making his waves on the football field. Great spin move there by Brock. And Brock starting with the gain of 8.
Yeah, starting to feel this offensive line here. Just working that way, then a nice little spin move, cutting back. It's kind of the same thing Baylor's offense wants to do. Get you flowing hard one way, then cut back across the green.
On 2nd and 3, Dekkers has some space and then tripped up and brought down by number 97, Cooper Lands.
I was going to mention this a couple plays ago. I think Hunter Dekkers needs to run the ball a little bit more. I think right there, had he pulled the trigger a little bit sooner, he has plenty of time and space to run.
In the first half. 30 seconds in lane.
Timeout taken on the field. Let's send it over to Kevin Connors in the studio.
And Tiffany, coming up on the Geico halftime report, we'll check in on Clemson and Wake, top 25 battle with gigantic implications in the ACC. Plus, speaking of gigantic implications, how about Georgia and Michigan on upset alert? And what happens when basketball schools become football schools? Sam Acho and I are going to chat about that coming up at the half.
A little rub roll going on, right?
Say it ain't so. What? Georgia, they look like an absolute machine so far this year.
All the different upsets we've seen so far this season. Could this Saturday be littered with them once again? Big third down coming up for Iowa State out of the timeout. 1:05 remaining. You see the numbers for Hunter Dekkers on third downs. Completes it here, and it's good to Knoll. So Knoll moves the chains, and good execution out of the timeout.
Yeah, I like getting Knoll involved in this. A lot of attention paid to Hutchinson here. Get the ball 13, he's got some speed.
Dekkers again. Calm in the pocket, has the man, and yes, it's in for the score! Stanley, Dimitri Stanley with a 24-yard reception.
And I love Hunter Dekkers right here. Clock's ticking away, but he's got enough time. Doesn't have to rush anything, just scans the field and throws an absolute laser. On the inside cut to Stanley. Love the poise right there on that entire drive showed by Hunter Dekkers. Kind of bouncing back from his previous 2 drives where he was a little unsettled.
Gilbert. And the extra point is good, but you talked about Hunter Dekkers getting his groove back.
It's just a nice route here. As a wide receiver, you always want to threaten upfield with the speed. Get him thinking you're going to beat him deep, and then as soon as that DB's hips turn, boom, the foot's in the ground, cut inside, and the quarterback puts it on the money. That's just excellent stuff.
8 plays, 63 yards, and just under 3 minutes. Well, coming this week on Sunday NFL Countdown, one-on-one with Josh Allen. MVP candidate for the Bills as he faces the undefeated Dolphins. And before Aaron Rodgers and Tom Brady square off, some of the greatest defenders share what it's like to try to stop the two legendary quarterbacks. Kick off your Sunday with NFL Countdown at 10 a.m. Eastern on ESPN. Well, we talked about the two-time All-American Breece Hall, who had a great touchdown run, or rather reception, for the New York Jets. This is what he did last season against the Baylor Bears when he played in this game.
He was fantastic, Tiffany. I went back and watched this game this week. He had the 2 rushing touchdowns. He also had a receiving touchdown. He really kept his Iowa State team in that ball game right to the very end. And as I said, my hometown Cincinnati Bengals are going to get a lot of Breece Hall here this weekend, so we'll see.
Well, he's got to be pleased with the way his team has played thus far, off to a 3-0 start, trying to go 4-0 for the first time since 2000. It's received on the return. There's Jordan Neighbors, and Neighbors along that right side, and penalty markers come out afterward. That's likely going to be coming right back.
We're going to get a hold here.
During the return, holding, number 35, receiving team, 10-yard penalty, first down.
Well, we have time. Let's send it down to the field with Dawn. What's up?
Yes, guys, Jabril Brock sat behind Breece Hall and learned Breece Hall still impacting this program. Those two are best friends. They talk every day. Jabril praised him for making him better. Watched how he practiced, learned to finish runs like Breece. The biggest thing he took for Breece Hall's game, guys, patience. Hall said when the ball was in his hands, his mind slowed everything around him down so he could see the defense clearly, could make a decision. Jabril and those reps, he said he's starting to feel that from Breece as well.
Shapen, who escapes the pocket and is down.
Yeah, and just to kind of cap what you were saying, Don, it's kind of the same thing with Hunter Dekkers and Brock Purdy, right? Hunter Dekkers kind of waited back and instead of getting antsy and wanted to transfer and really gain some experience. And for Jabril Brock, it really is paying off, playing real well.
You can go down the line on this Iowa State offense. I mean, you can go tight end and fullback. Like, you just go down the line, and there's so many players that sit and learn and wait their turn, and that's how you establish a culture, and that's how you establish success year after year.
Great point, Don, as we come to the end of the first 2 quarters here in Ames. 17-14, the 17th ranked Bears on top going into the locker room. Iowa State set to receive it coming out of the break. We'll send it to Kevin in the studio with the halftime report. It's between the 17th ranked Baylor Bears and Iowa State, and really critical in that first half were the penalties. 4 of them aiding Baylor in that first half as they had the lead. And we welcome you back inside with Rocky Boyman. I'm Tiffany Green, and Baylor scored on their first 3 possessions of this ball game that got them going.
Yeah, absolutely. That was kind of the key. They got that run established. Haven't been running for a ton of yards, but it's really set up some things they want to do in the pass game, and that, of course, is the play action pass. It's really looked good for them.
As we take a look at who's making the connection, brought to you by Cintas.
Yeah, again, it's just the feel of that run. You get that Iowa State defense having to come downhill. You roll it back out, get the play action. And it was Sims, and then it was the linebacker Doyle. And I think Blake Shapen's played really well, been really poised in the first half here. But look, let's give a lot of credit to this Iowa State offense too. They got settled down before half. They get the touchdown, and here we are in a 3-point ball game.
And Iowa State set to receive it coming out of the break. You talk about Blake Shapen, 11 of 14, 120 yards for the sophomore out of Shreveport, Louisiana. A couple of touchdowns. Found Hal Presley for a 40-yard connection. That set up a score for them. So Dave Aranda's crew trying to pick up their first win of this 2022 campaign in the Big 12. Last year's conference champions, as we send it down to the field with Dawn.
Yeah, guys, Baylor players didn't get out here until there was about 10 seconds left on the clock. Perhaps their head coach, Dave Aranda, spent some extra time with his defense because he told me heading into the halftime that they got satisfied. He felt like they lost their edge heading into the half, and they had to be better there. Lack of focus is what he said, so that has to change. He wants to see more of an edge on both sides of the ball. Guys, I also asked Matt Campbell if some of these penalties will make his players hesitate a little bit, because we talked about how important physicality is. He said, nope, big smile on his face. He said, we're coming.
All right, thanks so much, Don. Xavier Hutchinson on the reception. And when we got a chance to speak with Matt Campbell earlier this week, I think they come in with this type of earned confidence. It's something we heard from him throughout our conversation.
Absolutely. I think he just really believes in this team, how hard they've worked, how far they've come. But again, just kind of, he knows that this game is going to come down to which team is most physical, and he wants to make sure they do that, because Don asked a great question. Sometimes penalties can make you a little hesitant. Got to make sure you don't do that. Let it rip out there.
On 2nd and 9, and the catch is made, and wow, Baylor is saying they have it, and what a big turnover. That was a bang play, and that was Devin Neal Jr. with the interception. Whoa.
It's a little slant route here. The ball is put on the money, maybe a little bit extended, but it looks like a clean hit by Devin Lemire. Popped that ball out, and Devin Neal was in the right place at the right time. And Lemire just came in with that left shoulder tip and popped that ball out. What an incredible play by this defense. We've talked a lot about them needing to step up and make some plays and make a big one to open up the second half.
No doubt. It was Neal who got a lot of playing time in last year's Big 12 championship run. And now his offense has the best field position of the ball game as Richard Reese is tripped up.
And you can see Dave Aranda, that this is what he does, right? He's a defensive guy, plus 19 turnover margin. That'll win you a lot of football games when you're getting that ball back to your offense. But I got to tell you, Tiffany, right now, this zone, outside zone run game has a little too much lateral to it, right? On Richard Reese, he's the freshman. He was great last week. I think he needs to find a way to get that thing turned up downhill, a little more north-south out of him.
They hand it off once more. The nice cut made by Quaylen Jones, and Jones brought down by Colby Reeder.
And that's what Quaylen Jones did, right? Just on about that 5th step, found the hole and committed to it. You can't second guess yourself when you see that daylight open up. You got to have confidence in it, put the foot in the ground and get forward. It's good to see big number 28 there with a nice run.
You used the word decisive earlier in this ball game of just being able to find it and go for it. Now 3rd and 4.
I think if you're barreling, you got to get at least half of this, because I believe this is 4th down territory for him.
Jones stays in it. Play action. Shapen down the seam. Has Gavin Holmes, lays out for it, and it's incomplete. Tried to thread it between 2 defenders and just out of the reach of the intended target, Holmes.
And it was well covered on the back end. That's I'll tell you what, he had a step. Perfect throw, could have got it there. But here we go, it certainly is 4th down.
Well, we saw them go for 2 4th downs on that opening drive. They've been successful both times, going for it once more. Ball on the Iowa State 30-yard line.
So there's Sims right there. He's been a go-to guy so far today.
With time, looking, tough throw, and turnover on downs. Iowa State's defense coming up with the stop. 12:50 remaining in the 3rd quarter. Iowa State gets the ball when we come back. Conference on ESPN, 17-14 ball game between 2 Big 12 foes from Ames. Iowa State saw their last possession in on an interception. 8 targets so far today, 6 receptions for Hutchinson, who had that ball dislodged from him to hand it over to the Bears.
He's been the go-to guy, 6 receptions for 58 yards today.
on the carry is Brock going to that right side. And then push back. Let's go back to that interception, Rocky.
Yeah, this was a huge play here. I thought Deckers did a good job delivering the football, maybe a little bit out in front of Hutchinson, who's very sure-handed, but it was a good job by Lemire just putting that shoulder on the football. Not much you can do, and a huge turn of events there, but give a lot of credit to the Iowa State defense for forcing a fourth down play. They turn it over on downs, get the ball back to their offense, no harm, no foul.
Hutchinson, look out for him to the top of your screen, leads the Big 12 in receptions. Deckers looking his way, covered, gets away, scrambles, and then brought down by Bryson Jackson. Jackson, the super senior out of Texas.
If I'm Hunter Deckers, I wouldn't be afraid to tuck this thing and run a little bit. I just think that's makes it tough on a defense. Just pull that trigger a little bit sooner. I think there's some yards for him to get with his legs.
Second sack of the ball game as a retooled offensive line for Iowa State. On 3rd and 8. Feeling some more pressure, gets it away, nearly intercepted once more. Devin Lemire was right there, but Bryson Jackson was right in the face of Deckers.
And what an incredible play call by Ron Roberts, the defensive coordinator. I mean, he's going to come from all the way from right there, across and around. I mean, look at that. And the offensive line cannot pass that thing off. It goes through 3 offensive linemen. They weren't able to get there. Just an incredible line stunt there by Ron Roberts.
So the Baylor defense holds. Tyler Perkins back to punt it away for Iowa State. Gavin Holmes sees it bounce over his head. And now very fortuitous bounce for Iowa State inside the Baylor 10-yard line. Let's take a look at this week's college football rankings brought to you by Verbo. We were talking about upset alert for the top-ranked Georgia Bulldogs. They're leading Kent State now 26-13. A number of games kicked off at noon Eastern. Michigan holding tight to that 4-point lead over Maryland. And how about Arkansas, Texas A&M? They're going to be in action.
I'll tell you what, Arkansas looks really good. I watched them against UC a couple weeks ago, and they play a physical brand of football as well.
Well, Blake Shapen and this offense starting from their own 7-yard line and up ahead for a couple of yards is Reese. So far, from what you've seen of the running backs from Baylor, what do you like of each, and do you feel like Jeff Grimes is tipping in hand one way or the other?
I just think overall they need to be, as I said earlier, more decisive, more getting north-south of that thing. And that zone wants to stretch everything out, but at some point it's got to get north-south quick here. I think they're just feathering it out. But again, give credit to the Iowa State defense. That's what they want to do, keep forcing that thing to the sideline.
Best in the conference against the run. Shapen on play action, and the pass is complete and hauled in by number 34, Cameron.
Josh Cameron's been a pretty reliable guy. It's all set up off the play action, gets out in space here. It's a good job throwing a nice ball between 2 defenders.
And the penalty marker comes out before the ball is snapped, and too many men on the field.
Illegal substitution, offense, 12 players in formation, 5-yard penalty, still first down.
Well, get this, if you're just tuning in, just the second penalty against the visiting Baylor team.
Yeah, and Iowa State loves it, right? They go crazy because they've had a lot of them go against them here today. A couple questionable in my opinion. See Baylor trying to, you know, that's the thing, they do so many formations and substitutions, and that every once in a while you can get caught up, you get 12 guys on the field, but I mean, look at this. So many things to make a defense think about getting them spread out here.
Empty set for Shapen. Shapen feels the pressure. That's Isaiah Lee giving chase. Shapen getting away, keeping his eyes downfield, and finds the soft spot in the defense, and the completion to Gavin Holmes for the first down. 18-yard pickup.
and Shapen wanted to go to the boundary, okay? Wanted to go right here with it, but it was well covered, but a good job extending, right? It wasn't there. Okay, let me extend here. Let me let the receivers get down the field, get some separation. The eyes stay down, though, Tiffany. And I'll tell you what, he did a good job of throwing that ball over the 6'10" wingspan of Will McDonald in that play. Big number 9 for Iowa State.
Akin to that of Michael Jordan as the pass is complete, hurdling the defender. And what a play and a move by Drake Dabney, his first reception of the game. Good for 17.
Blake Shapen is in the flow right now. Good job, and then watch the hurdle. Just, I mean, and the athleticism of these big guys anymore, Tiffany, it's amazing. You see these hurdles happen. It's almost like it doesn't even amaze us anymore. I'm still blown away by it, though. I love it.
Shapen, they say he's best when he's in rhythm. One-on-one coverage on the outside, and it's incomplete. How Presley was covered by Miles Purchase. Second down.
Yeah, Miles Purchase, great job in man coverage. He had to cover him for a long, long time. He was able to come up with it. Number 5, the sophomore out of Denver, Colorado.
Really had to forge his way to get in front, according to the coaches, and it's just brought that type of competitive excellence they're looking for. On 2nd and 10, Craig Williams catches the toss, and Will McDonald in on the stop. I'll tell you this, the Iowa State all-time sack leader, all right? He's closing in on the Big 12 record, and yet he's been held kind of quiet today.
Yeah, I haven't mentioned his name much, and I think you got to give a lot of credit to Baylor, you know, what Blake Shapen is doing with that play action, but also getting the ball out of his hand. You know, it's an opportunity here. Hopefully, Will McDonald's got to make a play. There he is right there. He's usually doubled. We'll see what they do.
On 3rd and 7, they bring pressure. That leaves Ben Sims open, and that's good enough for the first down and keep it moving.
Yeah, and that play, they dropped Will McDonald into coverage. I suggest he rushed the passer, but a good route combination. A little natural rub route there. Some would call that a pick if you're on defense. On offense, it's a rub route, Tiffany. So a good job there by Seth Jones, creating that opportunity for Sims.
Sims today, 4 receptions for 26 yards. Blake Shapen, who has taken ownership of this team after helping this group win the Big 12 championship last year. In trouble, getting away. Penalty marker comes down, and that's likely coming back in the area of a hold.
Shapen, good job extending, but that's what happens a lot. You moving around too much and
personal foul. Illegal hands to the face. Number 9, defense, 15-yard penalty. First down.
Wow. How many times have we heard 15-yard penalties against Iowa State today? Is that what, 3 or 4?
You see, there it is,
4.
right there, right side of the screen. Hands to the face. And he's in there trying to get a pass rush here, and wow, another huge call against Iowa State.
Matt Campbell's like, man, we can't buy a break.
Yeah.
But that one was pretty blatant.
Just can't keep giving this Baylor offense so many more opportunities.
Again, they love that play action. It's been working well. Dabney, again, a couple of receptions on this drive, gain of 6.
And I think the play action pass has been working so well, despite the run game not really being dominant. But I think it's just been just good enough. You know, at some point, you wonder, does it go the other way? Does Iowa State say, look, I'm tired of getting this play action on us? You wait back a little bit, and then maybe Baylor starts to really step on the gas with it. Jeff Grimes is hoping it turns out that way.
Celebrated a birthday yesterday. Would love to walk out of Ames with a win.
Switch in the front there. Iowa State trying to give him a different look.
Shapen hands it off. Reese who hit the hole decisively, still on his feet, and then for the score. We talk about planting that foot and going forward. That's exactly what Richard Reese did.
Amen. You have to imagine Jeff Grimes on the sideline at some point saying, young man, hit this thing downhill like we know you can, but look at the offensive line, the blocking, and in the second level, making guys miss. But that is all the difference. When Richard Reese, who's not a big guy, but he's 5'9", when he's running behind those pads, he's hard to bring down. Great job here by Reese and that Baylor offense.
19-yard run for Reese. And Baylor making it a 2-score game, up by 10. As Richard Reese saying, let me show you what I got, baby. He's able to shake some tacklers and find pay dirt.
Football, presented by Sling TV, is brought to you by Crumble Cookies, America's game day dessert. Taste this week's rotating flavors.
Dave Aranda on the sideline is like, let's fire it up. Usually mild-mannered, the professor was just like, I was feeling that drive. We did our thing there.
Yeah, he darn well should too. A 93-yard drive. And that was a statement drive there by this Baylor offense. And you got to give a lot of credit to Blake Shapen as well, the quarterback. He's at 10 different wide receivers a day. I don't think Iowa State can get any beat on where he's going to go with that football.
And that's the mystery of this Baylor offense, of where exactly do you go. We'll see how Iowa State answers. Touchback. Good time to remind you that Big 12 now on ESPN Plus is a must-have for Big 12 fans. Here is next Saturday's featured college football game. QB Donovan Smith leads the Red Raiders into Manhattan to take on Deuce Vaughn, and Kansas State coverage kicks off at noon Eastern, 11 Central. If you're a Big 12 fan, you gotta have it. Sign up today at ESPNplus.com/Big12now.
The other thing you gotta do is watch Deuce Vaughn, the running back for Kansas State, leading the Big 12 in rushing, 352 yards. That little guy's been fantastic.
Oh, he is exciting and electrifying to watch. Deion Silas now in the backfield alongside Hunter Deckers. Quickly out, and Silas is targeted and pass incomplete. Let's check in with the studio and Kev.
All right, Tiffany, Wake hasn't beaten a top 10 team since 1946, Joe, but they're in front thanks to Donovan Green.
Donovan Green missed the entire season last year due to injury, but before that, he averaged 20 yards per catch. See big plays all the time.
1-point lead on ABC.
All right, thanks so much, boy. Coach Clausen is doing a great job with Wake Forest. So much football on the menu today. Iowa State trying to avenge last year's loss against this Baylor team, as Tyrone Brown brings down Silas. Third down.
And I'll tell you what, this is the play of the game right now for Iowa State, because I just get the feeling this Baylor offense is starting to induce that physicality they wanted. Saw it on that last drive. They're starting to, really take a lot of time and chew some clock. So it's critical right here for Iowa State to find a way to convert.
And interesting, because it's Iowa State who normally wins the time of possession, but here today it's been in favor by 10+ minutes for Baylor. Now 3rd and 4.
Hutchinson at the top there.
One-on-one coverage never looked his way, and just threading it in there to Dimitri Stanley. So important conversion there, Rocky, on 3rd down. Take another look at it.
That was a great job. Stanley has really stepped up today. There's good protection, but a little off coverage, and he just kind of snuck down right above the corner and below the safety, found a little bit of room.
It looks like some confusion there for Iowa State. Maybe they were trying to move with some tempo.
The ball was not made, ready for play. It'll still be 1st down.
But you see Iowa State's like, okay, let's try to get this rhythm going. Let's get some tempo.
Right, because they know Baylor wants to go very slow. So, yeah, they want to try to take advantage, now being down 10 points. Look, no time to panic. There's still plenty of time in this game. But I also think tempo helps your quarterback, especially Hunter Deckers in his first year, help him kind of stay calm and get some rhythm.
And had that apprenticeship under all-time leading passer in Brock Purdy, and now he runs the football. Rocky, his ears must have been burning from the first half when you said, hey, I want to see him take it down and run more.
Yeah, I think it's a good thing. It just gives the defense one more thing to think about. Now, I understand, because you also don't want to get him crushed, because he got hit pretty hard right there. But I think there's also some opportunities when he drops back in the pass game. That defense starts to sink back. Maybe, I think there's an opportunity where he can maybe take off, use his legs.
and second and 8. We're shifting up front. Russ, the tight end, coming up trying to provide some blocking, and good play snuffed out really quickly by Mark Milton. That was Matt Jones, excuse me, loss of 3.
Matt Jones, fantastic. You see him right there. He just comes up and just uses his hands and swipes away the blocker. You know, linebackers, it drives me nuts. You know, a lot of them in college don't like to use their hands. He did a good job right there. Didn't wait, attacked, made a nice play.
Another critical third down, this time 11 yards to go. Got to get across midfield. Deckers has some pressure from behind, and he's brought down by Bryson Jackson. Jackson is a name we've called quite a bit in this second half.
Yeah, coming up off to the right side of the offense. They also brought the safety here too, but there comes Jackson. See the safety, the guard picks up. He can't help the offensive tackle. And Jackson gets that one-on-one he likes, and he is really having a great ball game. 3
sacks on the day for that Bears defense. And after the punt, Baylor will start their drive on the 28-yard line when we return. Defeated Iowa State trailing late here in the third quarter as Extra Yard for Teachers Week is an annual back-to-school effort led by the College Football Playoff Foundation that brings college sports together to recognize and show appreciation to great teachers across the country. To support Extra Yard for Teachers recognition and resources, make sure you go to CFP Extra Yard or scan the QR code. And the reason why we were showing Matt Campbell there, hey, he said, okay, I'm going to get this opportunity as a teacher first before I came over to the coaching ranks.
Almost spent his life as a teacher, yeah. But I think he's doing, look, as a coach, he is a teacher, right? He's teaching these young men about life and how to persevere and how to maximize their potential on the football field. But right now, this Iowa State defense has got to come up big. You just feel like this Baylor offense is starting to settle in, and they want to go on a long drive here.
Craig Williams gets the toss and then knocked down by Anthony Johnson, who shifted from safety to safety rather, after being an excellent cornerback, as we send it down to Dawn with the feel and the pulse of that defense for Iowa State.
Well, you guys are talking about that defense. Very frustrated down here, especially the secondary. Remember, starting safety Bo Freeler was ejected for targeting in that first possession. Mason Chambers has been filling in. They let the true freshman Trayvon Howard get that last go. But, Rocky, communication looks fine. Coaches down here are saying, hey, they're not doing anything complicated. You got to recognize it.
No, I think you're absolutely right, Don. It's nothing, you know, no trickeration going on out there. It's outside zone runs, and it's bootlegs off it with crossers. It's just a matter of coming down and figuring out what they're doing and stopping it. Comes down to physicality. Here's a huge opportunity. Really love to see Will McDonald become a force, become a game changer here in this moment.
John Haycock's defense will be tested here. McDonald and Isaiah Lee, who's gotten some pressure on the interior here on 3rd and 10. Some pressure coming, escaping Vance, but finally sacked, bottled up by Vance. Second of the ball game for the Cyclones.
And what a fantastic play design by John Haycock, the defensive coordinator. You got McDonald and you have Vance right there, coming off the ball and just staying relentless. Vance in there, and then McDonald to finish him off. Really love that. Just, you know, you get Will McDonald. He's a defensive end, coach. Well, why is he lined up off the ball over the center? Just creates a little bit of hesitation there for that line. It's great.
Exactly what John Haycock dialed up. Wanted his defense to come up with the stop. Loss of 10. And Jalen Knoll giving chase to this one. Great punt there by Isaac Power inside the 15, trying to dance around, but nowhere to go after that 58-yard punt. Our Saturday night football game presented by Capital One is a Big Ten battle at the Shoe in Columbus. C.J. Stroud and the 3rd-ranked Buckeyes take on and host Wisconsin. Chris Fowler, Kirk Herbstreit have the call, 7:30 Eastern on ABC. Well, some Bolitnikoff buzz going on. How about C.J. Stroud likely going to find Marvin Harrison Jr. as he's done for much of the season already. They are loaded at wide receiver, but yeah, there you go. You're not telling Rocky.
I gotta give my guys some love here. You know, I feel like you look at the draft boards and whatnot. Xavier Hutchinson's not mentioned, and I think he's fantastic. Any team in the NFL would love to have number 8.
Dynamic playmaker, and Hunter Deckers needs to find him more frequently, as Jalen Knoll with the reception brought down by Bryson Jackson. But going back to Xavier Hutchinson, led the Big 12 in receptions last year, 2-time first team all Big 12 honors, and you've got to get him going.
Yeah,
you've got to find a way. We talked about him to open this broadcast. Feed number 8, the X-Man.
Football's not hard, Tiff. You get the ball to your best players.
Jyrell Brock and on that right side, gain of 2. Jones there on the stop as we near the end of the third quarter. Well, big fourth quarter on the way as Iowa State trailing by 10. Baylor trying to hold tight and pick up a road win in the conference. We'll see what happens in the final 15. Some fans traveled from Waco as the Baylor faithful feeling good going into the fourth quarter. Neither team has allowed a point in the final quarter of regulation.
Something's got to give, right?
Okay.
Or maybe not. I don't know.
Yeah.
We'll see here. This is, if not, it looks good for Baylor. I'm not a, genius or anything, but they're winning.
On 3rd and 3. Deckers, good decision. Foul number 8, the X-Man, Xavier Hutchinson. Drive continues.
Big third down there. You got to find Xavier Hutchinson. And a little rub route there coming off, and then his precision in his routes, I think, is really, really good. And he was down the other side of the field there. He just has a knack for getting open. But I'll tell you what, this offense, first of all, they've not been able to run the ball very well, just 31 rush yards. And I think what Deckers is really missing is those tight ends, right? Last year, Chase Allen, Charlie Kohler. Tight ends today, 0 receptions.
Danica has been sought after once, as right there, the stop made by Walcott as we send it to the studio with Kevin. So Al Walcott on the stop, led the team last week with 9 tackles in that win over Texas State. Quickly out to Hutchinson once again, and the yards after catch, so important for a player like Xavier Hutchinson. You said just give him the ball.
Yeah, just give him the ball, but it's a great job by Tom Manning, his offensive coordinator, just moving him around, right? Sometimes he's in the slot, sometimes he's to the left, sometimes he's to the right. He's off the ball, he's in motion. That's just a great job by the coordinator, finding ways to get him the ball, because he's the go-to guy.
He's at the top of your screen. As they look to the sideline to get the play in.
There's a lot of room right here, too, for him to work with.
They keep it on the ground with Jyrell Brock. Brock trying to go around that corner, and Matt Jones is there to stop him.
Wow, that's a statement. First down there. It's a good job keeping this offense rolling, because that Baylor defense is penetrating, but a good job by Brock. Look, it ain't got to be pretty, and it doesn't have to be a game breaker. Sometimes just get the first down to get a new set.
Moving the ball well on this drive is Iowa State. And there's that physicality. We talked about that as Brock and Dylan Doyle collide.
Dylan Doyle, linebacker, he already has a touchdown. How about a big hit as well? There he is. As a linebacker, you got to read, you got to come downhill. Where's the daylight? Patience, patience, hit it. As soon as that running back commits, the linebacker's got to commit. That was just great stuff there. That's on the linebacker teach tape for Dave Aranda.
We saw him catch a touchdown in the first half. Dave talked about just the leadership that he's provided. That backward unit, 2nd and 8. Picking up the blitz and escaping. Here's Hunter Deckers, who had some room out in front of him. Moves it forward, and gain of 3. Now 3rd down.
Good job by running back picking up the blitz, the safety on that play. Hunter Deckers picked up a few of his legs. All right, let's go ahead and circle number 8 because you know Baylor's got to know where he is. That's him. See if they get some sort of unique way to get him open, get him the football.
Rolling motion to that left side. They target him, and it bats down in that right hand and falls out. It's incomplete. And now 4th and 4.
That's unfortunate because he was open. Critical throw right there. Got to have it.
The offense appears to be staying on the field, and so you make this decision. What do you draw up?
I think you got to go to 8, okay? Because he's so good at contested catches.
They look to his side. Instead, it's intercepted. Stepping in right there is Christian Morgan with the INT. 2nd pick of the ball game for the Bears defensive unit. That gives them the energy that they need as they hold on to this 10-point lead on the road in their Big 12 opener. 4-14 in favor of the road team. And how about the defensive-minded Dave Aranda? Has to love this play from his defense.
Yeah, he does. But right there, Xavier Hutchins is open. That ball's got to be bang on his chest. It's a timing throw. Instead, Deckers comes back across and makes a non-committal throw to his tight end who's not had a catch all day. I just think, Tiffany, that's where the inexperience of Hunter Deckers comes in. A play like that, his back foot's got to hit. That ball's got to be out of his hand. It's an easy completion. He's beyond the sticks. He didn't. He hesitated. He waited a little bit, and that's all it took.
And critical as they were trying to eat away at this 10-point deficit. 11 games straight won against Big 12 opponents at home for Iowa State. That's in jeopardy on 2nd and 2 for Blake Shapen, and the Bears gets it away. Pass complete to Quaylen Jones as we send it to the studio quickly with Kevin Connors.
All right, Tiffany, Dabo Swinney has never lost to Wake as Clemson head coach, but he's down now.
Down now. Sam Hartman to Blake Whiteheart, the 6'4" tight end. Clemson has won 62 straight when leading at halftime. They're in jeopardy of losing that now.
Driving right now on ABC, Tiffany.
All right, thanks so much, huh?
Wow,
What? Did I just hear what I think I just heard?
That's right.
Meanwhile, establishing their will here is Baylor. Richard Reese on the outside. And you saw the speed there, but let's go back and also credit the great offensive line play from this veteran group up front for Baylor.
Yeah, I mean, Baylor's offensive line, bunch of big boys up there getting it done. Brought a bunch of them back, and it's just one of those things where over time, Tiffany, over the course of a game, they just lean on you. And also, for big guys, they move. You have to with this scheme. They move lateral, and they're moving sideways, and then they're pushing on you. It makes it tough. Look at this.
A little trickeration back to the quarterback. Wide open is Gavin Holmes. Touchdown, Baylor, 38 yards. Nobody was in striking distance of Gavin Holmes.
Exceptional play call by Jeff Grimes here. Again, this offense is based on misdirection, right? We're going this way, we get you going that way. And you'll see it just kind of starts off a little zone run to the right and come back, flip it to the quarterback. And it was only a question of, is he going to catch it, right? Because there was nobody around him. Sometimes those are the hardest catches to make.
And the Baylor Bears strike quickly, rather, 4 plays, 64 yards, capped off by this 38-yard touchdown reception by Gavin Holmes. I remember when it was the nosebleeds, now they captured the fashion.
is presented by Slay, the TV you love for a price you'll love.
Sunny Saturday afternoon in Ames, but I think the Cyclones fans stunned as their team trailing, and this is what transpired the last two plays for Baylor.
Just a great sequence. It's a 10-yard run, and you get the feeling right there. Iowa State's like, they're just going to run the ball. Perfect time to call the double reverse flea flicker, Tiffany. How about that? I mean, again, that defense is saying, all right, they're just going to chew clock, and they're going to run. They come up on it, and Jeff Grimes just had that absolutely called to perfection.
Jeff Grimes has also put up the most points on this Iowa State defense this season, 337 total yards for the Baylor Bears offense. Baylor searching for their first win in Ames since 2016. They're well on their way as we send it back to the studio with Kevin Connors.
Yeah, and Tiffany, we're keeping an eye on everything going on right now. DJU, another touchdown pass. Clemson went for two and got it. Tied over on ABC. Tight one in the SEC between Missouri and Auburn over on ESPN. Kent State in a two-score game with Georgia and driving right now on ESPN, the app. TCU, SMU on ESPNU, and Aaron Judge 0 for 2 right now for the Yankees. Tiffany?
Oh my goodness, so much to keep your eye out on. Kent State, come on now, wait a minute.
Going flash. Can upset Georgia. Well, they're down 16, but you know, it's exciting.
I'll tell you, Baylor fans have to be excited as a penalty marker comes out.
False start, number 66. Offense, 5-yard penalty. Still first down.
That one going against Tyler Miller, the left tackle.
Yeah, and Tiff, when you're 6'9", and you move, everyone sees you. Tyler Miller's a tall guy out there.
Goal in motion. Deckers, the lefty, sensing some pressure, escapes. That was Bryson Jackson on his trail, gain of 5 for Deckers.
I just wonder how good Hunter Deckers is seeing the field right now. I mean, certainly the pressure's on. Got to find a way to put a good drive together.
He got his man in Dimitri Stanley, and it was one of those questions that Matt Campbell and the staff had about how Hunter Deckers would respond in situations that he's unfamiliar with, right? Or just not as familiar with.
Yeah, and that's part of it. As a first-time starter, it's all about experience, but you can see the difference between the two halves.
Everybody just wrapping him up, and then some extracurricular after the play, but it was Mark Milton
Ruling on the field, his forward progress was stopped. It's second down.
who was the first to try to attack, and then Victor Obi came into the picture.
Yeah, these unique pressure looks that Baylor's defense gives, it just has Hunter Deckers unsettled. I mean, this is tough stuff. Again, you talk about experience. David Arana's been around in football a long time. You know, he knows how to draw up unique looks that, you know, make it hard on a young quarterback.
A master or a wizard when he was at LSU doing that, but then coming right back, and nice response from the sophomore quarterback, finding Dimitri Stanley, who's been his second favorite guy to go to today.
You said it, respond. That's what you want to see out of your young quarterback. Good job driving up the field, then a little wheel route. Gets it on the money.
27-yard completion, and then the little juke move by Jarrell Brock. Gain of 9 brought down by A.J. McCarty. But we've seen some nice shifty moves from Brock.
He does. I think he's a little more shifty than Breece Hall. Breece Hall was just smooth, right? But he does a good job just shaking the hips and getting more yards.
Deckers with plenty of time finally gets it away, nearly intercepted once again. And let's go back to the studio with Kevin.
All right, Tim, it has not been easy for Michigan today. J.J. McCarthy, though, to Roman Wilson here, Sam.
And J.J. McCarthy needed this. Blake Corum had been carrying the team. Finally, J.J. McCarthy got his touchdown on the board.
Michigan in front now, 23-13 in the Big House.
All right, thanks so much. Back here at Jack Trice Stadium, big 3rd and 1 on the way for Iowa State. You see the numbers for Deckers on 3rd down. Need to convert here. They ask Block to pick up one. He says, I'm going to get more along the left side. One man to beat, and he's just the tackler in for the score. But did he hold on to the football is the question.
Did he hold on to the ball enough to break the plane?
Critical.
I think that could be a touchback. I mean, the look on Jarrell Brock's body language says, I fumbled that ball. Wow.
Ruling on the field is the runner lost possession prior to crossing the goal line. Therefore, it's a touchback. 1st down, Baylor.
And that was Mirando Johnson, who poked it out at the last minute right before he crosses the goal line.
Look at this.
Woo, what a play.
What an exceptional job by Johnson, just using that right hand and bringing it a little uppercut, popping the ball out. And Jarrell Brock thinks he has a touchdown. He says, hey, we're back in this game. I mean, and this is the kind of thing, I guarantee you, Dave Aranda is going to replay this play about 47 times tomorrow and say to his defense, this is the kind of effort you want. I mean, wow, biggest play of the game.
If you're a Cyclone fan, you can't believe it. Just tough break after tough break. In the first half, it was characterized by some 15-yard personal foul penalties. In this one,
yeah, they've had some things go wrong in Tiffany, and they just have not been able to overcome them. I think that's kind of been the story today, and that's a huge one.
3 takeaways, and we talked about the turnover margin and how high it is under their defensive-minded head coach Dave Aranda. And so trio of
previous play
gimmies
of a touchback is under further review.
Well, as they look it over, it looked pretty definitive there from what we saw. They just want to make sure they check it out and get the call right. Let's check out the biggest games of the weekend with our weekend menu brought to you by Crumble Cookies. And okay, Rocky, I want you to get that pen out.
Yeah.
Telestrator, and go ahead and circle the games.
Oh,
give me some.
You gotta love that one.
Yeah.
I love that one. I really like that one there. I think that's a good game. You know, that's a good late game. You know, I like all of them. I don't know.
Herm Edwards out, new interim coach in at Arizona State. How
about? I hate to see that. I played for Herm Edwards for a year with Kansas City. So, and I think what they're looking at here, Tiffany, is did Brock recover the ball before he went out of bounds? So there's the ball's popped out. That's pretty clear. But right there, did he recover it?
Tough to see from that angle.
Before the knee went out. This might be a better look at it. Okay, ball is certainly out. But right here, did he recover it? That right knee.
It's really close. But
really
here,
close.
Again, the things that mean a lot, right?
Yep.
What they called on the field.
Correct.
1. 2, indisputable evidence. Is that something that you feel like you can overturn?
That's the question. It looks really, really close. And you mentioned it. It's indisputable video evidence. Can you say without hesitation that he recovered that ball? Man, this is close. This angle, we can't hardly tell. But that left knee and even the right knee, let's check it out here. Okay, are they going to give him credit for possession right there? You can't really see the ball. Is it moving around? Wow.
I think it's too tough to tell, Rocky.
And because of that, I'm going to say it's going to stand, just because it is too tough. You could certainly make the case he recovers that ball and he's in bounds, but What replay is designed to do, okay, is not to make the call from the booth. Is to, hey, we missed this thing. We got to take a look. It should pop off the screen, and if it doesn't, I think usually the original call should stand, but we'll see. Wow, it's close.
Yeah.
I mean, and just a huge, monumental call in this football game. Because if they recover this and it's a touchdown, all of a sudden, this is a 10-point football game, and they are right back in it.
But again, you think back to the body language we saw from Brock coming to the sideline was very telling.
Well, and right, I mean, as that play was just ending, hands are on the knees, and it stinks because it's just an incredible run. You know, he gets kind of popped back, breaks a bunch of tackles, and then you think, okay, he's going to go down right there. But Lorando Johnson, okay, he gets blocked, gets pushed out of the play, but then comes through and pops that ball out with his right hand.
I mean, he was off for 37 yards there, Rocky, until it was punched out at the last minute. And Michael Vandervelt will give us the call.
After review, it is clear that the ball was fumbled. However, number 21 has the ball in firm possession in the end zone with the body part down. Touchdown.
Wow. Wow. Well, if you're an Iowa State fan, you're saying finally, after the first half, we didn't get calls going in our favor, but that review helping out the home team.
No, I think both of us thought all along it could go that way. It was just the indisputable video evidence part of that, but the officials up in the booth said it could go. Look at the difference in body language in about 10 seconds from Jarrell Brock. Now this is a huge development, Tiffany, in this game.
Indeed it is, and as you mentioned, if Chase Gilbert connects on this extra point as he does, it's now a 10-point ball game. Pump it up, pump it up, pump it up for a Jarrell Brock. Finding the end zone and getting the favorable call. His team is coming back. And Ames, Big 12 opener between Baylor and Iowa State. Jarrell Brock, 37-yard run, fumbles it, recovers it in the end zone, touchdown after the review.
And a call that's going to be analyzed to death right after this game. I thought it was real close. But you find some fortune going in the way of Iowa State here. And as you said, now we got a ball game.
Picking it up off the bounce and trailing out of bounds. We'll tell you about Aaron Judge continuing his chase of Roger Maris's AL home run record, just one away. Our Sunday night baseball team, or matchup rather, has the Yankees hosting the Red Sox to finish up the 4-game series at Yankee Stadium, 7 Eastern on ESPN. Our coverage begins at 6 with baseball tonight, Sunday night countdown. 0 for 2 today with a walk is Aaron Judge, but all eyes on the big fella. Is tied with Babe Ruth.
Gosh, hope he gets it.
Woo. He's still got some games to work with.
Yes. But here's the deal. Iowa State comes into this game with 8 takeaways. They need one desperately right now.
Good stop there by Anthony Johnson to slow down Reese, gain of 1. They lead the Big 12 in takeaways this season. How opportune would it be for them to do so now?
Yeah, I mean, certainly that's what they've lived off of. None so far today. Let's see if they can get dialed in on Blake Shapen. It's up to Blake Shapen to make sure he does not put the ball in harm's way.
They got the crowd back into it, keeping it on the ground. Reese running behind tacklers and finding creases and brought down by Isaiah Lee. Gain of 7, brings up 3rd and short.
Of course, if you're Baylor and you can run the ball like this, you don't have to put the ball in harm's way, right? You can run the ball hard and then they have to play action boots off of it, try to hit wide open guys.
Past the century mark on the ground for the Bears.
See if they keep it on the ground here.
They do to Reese, and Reese hard running to the right. It's going to be close depending upon the spot, and judging by where the line judge came out, they're going to move the chains. So big conversion there on third down for Baylor.
And a good job by Reese. Tiff, we talked early in the game, Reese was a little too much east-west. I think his last couple of big runs, he's really gotten downhill, and that was important right there to get that first down. True freshman coming off a breakout performance at career highs versus Texas State in that last game. Eagerness to prove here he can be the guy on 1st and 10. They feed him the rock once more, and right there to say hello is MJ Anderson. And you watch Blake Shapen has taken this play clock all the way down to about 5 seconds. They want to chew every second off that thing. Smart by Shapen.
31 minutes in terms of time of possession for the Bears.
Iowa State needs to get a stop here. They have 3 timeouts. They'd love to save them.
It's Craig Williams. Williams with a strong run on 1st down, gain of 9, and those are the types of runs that hurt if you're a Cyclone defender.
That's right. I'll tell you what, the keeper for Shapen is wide open too. We saw it last week in that game against Texas State.
Hey guys, this Baylor offense knew exactly what they were doing before this possession, because big man 76, Connor Galvin, went over to the backs and said, "We've got you, let's go pound the rock."
Big 12 offensive lineman from a season ago, Connor Galvin, who Dawn just mentioned. Those more than 200 career starts really starting to pay off right here on critical 3rd downs and runs. 1st down.
And Don, they ran right behind Connor Galvin right there. There he is, big number 76. Nothing fancy, but he just seals that thing off. And then that's all you need. Comes up on the 2nd level. Connor Galvin has been doing a great job around here for a long time.
Continuing to milk the clock. 17th ranked Baylor on the road. They had a 17-14 advantage at the half. And then started to open things up here in the 2nd half. But we go back to kind of that statement drive from them. 10 plays, 93 yards down the field, and then Reese capped it off with a touchdown run.
Yeah, I think his offense has really responded well today. I think Blake Shapen has done a good job managing it. But here in this situation, right now, if you're Baylor, you get a 1st down. Now you start to force Iowa State to use some timeouts that they desperately want to keep, being behind 10. That can go all the way down.
And Williams runs into a bunch of Cyclones. Timeout taken on the field. Will step aside as well.
Timeout in the 2nd half. Timeout on the field.
Hockey, what do you think they're going to do here?
I think they're going to run the football here. Right behind that man right there again, Connor Galvin. Keep it on the ground. They get a 1st down. This game's over.
Zone run left.
Zone run left.
Reese does a little cutback. Isaiah Lee is there for the stop. Reese, who has been busy. We'll see Iowa State
Timeout on 2nd half.
give him a little bit more time. Good time to remind you our Saturday night football game presented by Capital One is a Big Ten battle in Columbus. C.J. Stroud and the 3rd-ranked Buckeyes take on Wisconsin. Both teams opening up conference play. Chris Fowler, Kirk Herbstreit will have the call over on ESPN starting at 7:30.
Wisconsin running back Braylon Allen's averaging 111 yards per game. He's going to, I imagine they're going to hand him that ball about 30+ times a day.
No doubt. Meanwhile, the Buckeyes offense has been rolling, leads the FBS in total offense, and the diversity on offense that they have there. Meanwhile, 4th and 3. Baylor set to punt it away.
See if they bring the house here.
They do, don't get to him. They're caught by Knoll. And so Iowa State will start their drive inside the 20.
And this, of course, is tough here, right? Because it's a 2-score game. You only have 1 timeout. Even though Baylor wasn't able to convert the first down, right there, they were able to burn almost 5 minutes off the clock, 4 and change, and force Iowa State to burn 2 timeouts.
The good news is you have the Big 12's leading receiver, a dynamic playmaker in Xavier Hutchinson, as we send it down to the field with Dawn.
Yes, Tiffany, you do have that leading receiver, but let me tell you what else you have. You have wind. It is picked up mightily right now. That could affect a young quarterback as he's looking to get that ball in the air to that number 8.
And trying to feel which direction that wind is going in. Thanks for the report, Don, and we'll see if that at all impacts.
Out of bounds.
As Easton Dean is able to skirt out of the bounds after the 10-yard reception.
And I know Dave Aranda right there, tomorrow when they watch tape, is going to tell his defender, look, you come on the outside and force him to come back toward the field.
Moved a little bit early there for Iowa State. They're going to go back 5 yards.
False start, number 55. Offense, 5-yard penalty. Still 2nd down.
Well, this is the time you have to play perfect football. If you're Iowa State, you don't want to do anything to shoot yourselves in the foot. 7 penalties, 73 yards for the Cyclones today. Purdy has time and can't connect across the middle with Hutchinson. 3rd down.
Trying to find number 8. I imagine he's going to be a part of the play call here as well. Interested to see what Baylor does defensively. And they've been able to get some pressure on Deckers here in this 2nd half. They drop 8 into coverage. One thing's for sure, they're going to give some sort of unique look that Deckers is going to have to figure out.
Deckers, tough throw, even better catch made by Jalen Knoll. Knoll has 1 man to beat along the sideline. Oh, it just steps out of bounds. Great throw and catch.
Huge catch in a critical moment of the game. They do bring a blitz. It's picked up by the, and what an amazing catch. We've talked about the contested catches Xavier Hutchinson makes, but Jalen Knoll, catch of the game.
Nearly intercepted, just bounced right in front of, and there looked to be maybe some contact, but penalty marker near the 40.
Matt Campbell thinks there should be interference on his wide receiver.
Personal foul, roughing the passer, number 54. Defense, 15-yard penalty, still 1st down.
We'll see as he's coming off the edge here. Yeah, he went low on him. I think that's the reason he came for the call.
So after that 50-yard catch from Knoll, then tack on some more yardage after the roughing the passer penalty. And Iowa State gonna look to the end zone. Tough throw, dangerous too, as he was trying to force it in there to Xavier Hutchinson.
Hunter Decker's very lucky right there. That ball was not intercepted. He had not 1 but 2 defenders for an opportunity to make a play on that football. That's the thing. It's such a fine line down this area of the field. You got to score, but want to keep giving your offense an opportunity here. Don't have to force it. Got a couple downs here still.
Decker's trying to direct traffic, has some space out ahead, and wisely scatters out of bounds. Gain of 2. They're going to say maybe 1 or 2. I'll say this. Yes, we're going to talk about Xavier Hutchinson, but it's been Jalen Knoll who's been the guy. 109 yards receiving today on 6 catches. And now,
and I don't see Xavier Hutchinson in the game right now. Got Jalen Knoll in the slot right there.
he's looking his way the entire time. Spin move, avoids the tackler, and down to the 1 yard line. Or they're going to say down to the 2.
They want to get up and snap this ball here, try to save some time. Sean Shaw at the top of the screen.
And Deckers decides to keep it. Chancy call right there. Johnson, who made a terrific play early, now seeing that clock continue to wind down, and that's favorable for Baylor.
Matt Campbell wants to hang on to that timeout, but a lot of time here.
With the cornerback, Lorando Johnson, standing out today in the second half.
Yeah, he's doing a good job here. This is the second big play Lorando Johnson's made. Of course, he had the forced fumble on Darrell Brock that ultimately was overturned, but didn't let him get outside. And now we see Xavier Hutchinson back in the game up here. A lot of times today it's been crossing routes, him coming across the field. We'll see what they do.
False start.
False start, number 66. Wow. Offense, 5 yard penalty, still third down.
Second one on the drive for Tyler Miller, the left tackle.
Yeah, it's maybe not the worst thing in the world to give yourself a little more room if you're going to pass this football here. Like I said, again, Hutchinson, a lot of times today it's been these crossing routes, try to get him a natural pick back in that secondary. We'll see. Nope.
Went to the outside. Hutchinson out of bounds now, fourth down. Yeah. So you go for the field goal here. Try to do an onside kick and recover it back. Remember, the one timeout remaining for the Cyclones.
Yeah, you need the field goal. Might as well go ahead and kick it here. You go for the onside kick.
And the true freshman, Chase Gilbert, will attempt the 28-yarder. And it goes through. Touchdown separating Big 12 foes as Dave Aranda, 55 seconds away from trying to walk out of here with a road win, but Iowa State still has a chance. They're going to attempt an onside kick.
They are, and I think it was smart. Go back a couple plays ago when Hunter Deckers was sacked, you know, and everything in timeout. Matt Campbell said, no, let's get up the line and call the play, or we want to save that, and that's great working out here now, because if they would happen to get the onside kick, they would have that one timeout to be able to put a couple plays together instead of just, you know, trying to throw a couple balls to the end zone. That was good clock management by Matt Campbell.
After coming up empty on the first 4 possessions of the second half, a touchdown and now a field goal for Iowa State pulls them within 7.
And I've been on these situations. If you're it's an onside kick unit team, you practice this, but like not a lot, you know, but now the game comes down to it, right? So you're hoping your guys on that front line, if you're Baylor, can block their guys. The guys that are supposed to catch it can catch it. And then on that kick unit team, you just need a ball that's going to pop up in the air and maybe something can happen.
So Ben Garbarini, the fifth-year senior out of Virginia, is on to attempt the onside kick. Backup punter here. It's got to go 10 yards. And spinning a timeout is Baylor.
Has called their first charge timeout of the second half. 30 seconds in length.
Let's go back to how Baylor was able to get out to a lead. We saw some strong, powerful running, tough running from Richard Reese, the true freshman.
Yeah, early in the game here, Reese wasn't having much luck, but then I think as soon as he kind of made up his mind that, hey, let's be definitive, let's go downhill, let's run behind our pads, I think that's been all the difference here. And I mean, just that combination, we talked about it coming into the game, the run, the wide zone run, and play action off of it. And the young man is, you know, is during the course of the game, learned to fix a few things, and really perform well.
Guys, his teammates told me he doesn't say much, comes into the facility, just works. You can't do freshman things if you want to play as a freshman, and he has prepared himself to not do freshman things in the film room all the time, and that speaks to the success today.
And Don, yeah, but look at this onside kick opportunity. No tee there, just going to kick this thing on the ground and let it spin.
Does it go 10 yards?
Oh!
Borton, who handles it and comes up with it. I think Baylor has possession. Wow, that was some wonky spin coming off.
And of course it was a linebacker, Tiffany. That would make the play of the game and ice this thing down. Yeah, these are always really tricky. That thing's just spinning around and moving. And just, wow, what a good job of just taking the bull by the horns and shielding the defender off and making that play. Excellent job by Matt Jones.
Matt Jones recovers it. And the victory formation for the Baylor Bears. The statement that they came out and made here today, Rocky, we talked about their speed, their physicality, and they were able to assert that.
And I think they were the most physical team today. Taking nothing away from Iowa State, I thought they played a heck of a ball game, but I mean, that offensive line for Baylor, I thought as this game went on, started to wear down that front a bit. And then let's also talk about Blake Shapen. I thought he was fantastic today. Nothing flashy, nothing super fantastic, but you know, 238 yards is getting it done. Almost a quiet 238.
3 touchdowns, but more importantly, 0 interceptions.
Yep, that's right.
So that does it. The number 17th ranked Baylor Bears pick up their first win in Ames since 2016 as they take down Iowa State 31-24. Dave Aranda picking up first Big 12 win of this 2022 campaign. Handing Iowa State their first loss of the season as we sit it down to the field with Dawn.
Yes, Coach Aranda, you told me coming into this one you needed to see the confidence and the belief in your offense. What kind of a statement did that group make today?
No, I think it's always difficult to get guys to reveal themselves. I think a lot of times it's about proving and trying to be who they think people want them to be, or trying to show up people that say you can't do this or you're not that. And so we have to drop all of that. And I think, like, for them to say that, hey, I'm enough and that I don't need to be any of these other things, I need to be me, and to see kind of a work week as, like, you know, if it says to, hey, to eat at this certain time, or it says to be at study hall at this certain time, and you have to give up little bits and pieces of yourself to be on time and do all that for the team, how that relates to this thing, you know, what we just did. And so I think all of that takes a while, because the ego wants to say, the hell with that. And so, especially when you're young, you really have to approach that, I think, in a way that is inclusive and not exclusive, and we're trying to do that.
Coach, you talk about revealing himself. Well, Richard Reese did that today. What impressed you most about your true freshman?
I think he continues to put himself out there. I think he continues to want the ball when it matters most. He continues to not be unfazed by big environments and bright lights and all of it. And so, you know, we talk to the team like we'd love for the world to see what we see. And I think there's a bit of that today, so it's good.
Coach 1-0 in the conference. Congrats.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thanks so much, Don. The molding process still taking place, as Dave Aranda told us earlier this week, but his team taking shape here in their Big 12 victory over Iowa State. For Rocky Boyman and Don Davenport, I'm Tiffany Green saying so long from Ames. Coming up later on ESPN2, Indiana and Cincinnati. But for now, let's send it back to the studio with Kevin.